Hi, my name is Andrew Lindeman. Today I'd like to talk about writing about poetry, chapter 18 in our textbook, pages 582 through 605. There is a sample student's essay in progress. Using Emma Baldwin's tips on her writing process, you can better understand how poems evolve. And there's a list of steps that she came up with that I would like to talk about in order, each in order. So the first one would be interact with the reading, exploring your ideas. Number 3, develop a thesis. 4 is create a plan for your paper. 5 would be generate a first draft, revise your draft, and then edit and formatting your paper. And I want to go through each of those steps with you to make it easier for you to write about poetry. Step 1. First, you must interact with the reading. In Eating Alone, she annotated the poem and took notes on her initial responses. My original example is the number the lines, find the rhyme pattern, and read the poem more than once. Number 2, exploring your ideas. To better understand the text, there are exercises that enable you to understand what you're reading, such as free writing, journaling, and brainstorming, just to simply get your mind to start working. Third step would be developing a thesis, and this is the most important part about writing a paper, whether it doesn't matter what you're writing about or what you're doing. Developing a thesis. You must concentrate on the parts of the poem that make up as a whole. Your thesis is the poem that works a certain way or means a certain thing. And it's not the main idea, but it's the most important sentence in your whole paper. Create a plan for your paper. Examine the poem line by line. Focus on the dramatic conflicts of the poem, or look at patterns, types of images, themes, or repeated words. That will help you create a plan and stay on the topic. That's the hardest part that most people find. Generating a first draft. With all the literature, write in present tense. That's the only rule with that. You have to write in present tense when you're writing a poem. Revise your draft. Look back and make sure you don't have anything from your first draft that you left out. And make sure your draft is fully understood and explained, that there's no errors in it, that there's nothing that you don't think that makes sense. And another thing I would tell you to do would be get someone else to read it and tell you if you did anything wrong. That always helps a lot. Edit and format your paper. Now this is the last and final step. This is very important as far as grading goes. When you're ready for your final draft, make sure your punctuation, spelling, and grammar are correct. And then check your font size, your indent, that your word requirement was correct. All the simple things that everyone kind of tries to forget. Make sure that's perfect.